We are live. Hope you don't mind me eating. I got my little cereal and milk right here. Bro, hold on. Cereal and milk is very, very slept on. Very, very slept on. Oh my gosh. If my voice sounds a little weird or if I'm out of breath, it's because my girlfriend and I just went for a run. But what is good? What is good? King Cantaloupe was good. Eel was good. Is it Becky? Becky was good with you, bro. Tanner Boma was good. Used to be in your lives when you first started. It's been a minute. How you been? That's a difficult question to answer. I mean, when you say first started, I'm assuming you mean 2020. A lot has changed since then, bro. A lot has changed. I've had very, very, very high highs, very, very, very low lows. And now I'm just kind of somewhere in the middle, but closer to the highs than the lows these days. Audio's good. Quincy, I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you for letting me know. A1738, what's good with you? Water Hot JT, what's good? Hello, good day, Jordan Green. How are you doing today? I hope that you're doing great. I'm doing pretty well, bro. Today's been pretty stressful for me. I'm not going to lie. Hold on. Let me swallow this food, bro. I feel crazy talking like this. Okay, I'm going to just have to keep talking. Yeah, today was pretty stressful, I'm not going to lie. This was one of those days where everything I did was hard. You know how some days, even the most simple things, brushing your teeth, washing your face, things like that, just become exponentially more difficult. Today was one of those days for me. But now I feel a lot more relieved because I'm doing the stream. Even though I still have those pre-stream jitters that I always have, I feel better just because we basically just get to hang out for the next hour and 11 minutes. Man, I get to put you on some game and you guys bring the good vibes and yeah. But how's everyone doing today? Boy, have I never clicked so fast. Edgar Hack, what's good with you, bro? I remember watching you and Ice Cold JT, good old days. Hey man, shout out to Ice Cold JT. Shout out to my guy Ice Cold JT, man. I hope he's doing well wherever he's at. What's good? Quincy, built different cereal. This right here actually is not really cereal, it's granola. It's this granola that I got from the store. I used it as a topping for a smoothie bowl yesterday, but I had a bunch left over, so eating this for lunch today. Usually I have the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. If you know, you know. But hold on, I need to keep eating this so it doesn't get soggy, but the shit is so hard to eat. It tastes good, but you know how some stuff is just so, I don't know how to explain it. You can just keep chewing on it and it just doesn't get easier to eat. I don't know how to explain it, bro. If you know, you know. Been here since April 2020, man. Glad to see you doing good. I appreciate you for tapping in, bro. That's a very long time ago. I want you to think about this for a second, all right? If you didn't feel old already, I want you to think about the fact that we are just as close to 2030 as we are to 2020. Just really think about that. I'm damn near about to be 30 years old, bro. Showtime, thanks for remembering. Jordan was good. Hey, bro. Thanks for reminding me. The reason why I don't do that, by the way, one of the reasons why at least, is because I've been lifting a lot. I don't know if you can see that because the ring light might be making it too bright, but my hands are cooked, bro. They are cooked because I don't wear gloves when I lift, and I do a lot of weighted calisthenics and all of that. So when I rub my hands, it doesn't feel right. It feels really weird to do that because I have these disgusting calluses on my hands. But had to do it for the OG's sake. Was good, bro. How long was the run and what was your pace? What's good, Kale? The run was 1 mile and my pace was 7 minutes and 42 seconds, which for me is actually pretty good. I don't understand. Kale, I need you to enlighten me on this, bro. How do people run long distance at anything below a 7-minute pace? I genuinely cannot wrap my mind around it. The fastest mile I've ever run was a 7. Matter of fact, let me look. I want to say it was a 7:10 or a 7:12, something like that. Let me look, because I have the little run app. See all running activity. See, look. Well, maybe I shouldn't necessarily. You can't really see exactly. But if you can see that, basically, the 7:42 right there. But I think my fastest time, I must have run it in the summer sometime last year. 7:11. Yeah, 7:11 was my fastest time. And I was about to die, bro. And I run every week, but maybe if I ran every day, it would get easier. I don't know. Maybe it's a mental thing as well, because I guess I just have limiting beliefs about running long distances. But man, running is no joke, bro. That shit is no joke. What's good, Elvis's live stream? What's good, 30AZ? Jordan, was good? I haven't been in a live since 2021. Really? That's gotta be cap, bro. I feel like I remember you being in the lives when I was in the apartment, which would have been 2022. And then I didn't really do any live streams from 2022 to around summer last year or something like that. So I feel like you were in lives in 2022, but I could be wrong. Prime Jordan Green was 2021 to 2022. It depends on what you consider prime to be. I feel like as a person right now, I'm basically at the peak of what I've ever been, if you just consider every component of life. But if you talk about just YouTube and views and things like that, then yeah, that's fair to say. But right now, man, I'm on a different mission. Right now, it's all about stepping into this new purpose of life coaching. And by the way, I make it sound like I'm super enthusiastic and, oh, this is going to be great and it's going to be so easy and everything's going to go so smoothly. Bro, this shit is scary to me. Even though I know I'm equipped for it, it still scares me. And that's the thing. Here's some free game for you right here. But every level that you reach is going to be scary to get to. So there's going to be some fear involved in every level of transcendence. And I almost feel like at each new level, it gets more scary because you have more to lose. So when I dropped out of college, it was scary, but the alternative was scarier. The alternative was scarier. There was no other option. I wasn't going to stay in college. So dropping out was pretty much the most obvious option for me. And I feel like that's where maybe a lot of my subscribers are at, is that they're in those beginning stages. But when you start getting to that level where you've built something and now you have to risk what you've built in order to step into this new calling, that's a whole different level of fear. Whole different level of fear right there. I just go on these tangents, man. I feel like I don't even need to explain that though. If you're in the live stream at this point, you know what time it is. You know what to expect at this point. That's good to hear. Keep it up, brother. Likewise, bro. Stay on that grind, whatever that grind looks like for you. What time is it for you? 7:09 p.m. Where is everyone? Where are you guys from? I'm very curious to see that. I could literally just kind of look at the demographics, but get a little more specific. You don't have to give me your IP address or anything, but tell me what region you're from. Don't just say I'm from the US. Say I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, or just kind of the region that you're from. Very, very curious. Because who knows, I might pop out to your city. Ice Cold JT's videos are starting to feel nostalgic. The meet and greet video is definitely nostalgic for me. What's good, Dutch? Quincy, you're wilding, bro. Listen, bro. I don't know how to explain it. I feel like if you just look at it, though, if you look at what I'm eating, you understand why it's taking me so long to eat this bowl. This man right here. Shouldn't you stream for 11 hours and 11 minutes instead so it will be 11:11? You're funny. You're funny. I was trying to figure out how to structure the title to make it more aesthetic, but it doesn't really matter. Okay. I'm gonna kind of start skipping some comments because if I read every comment, especially with the way that I just go on these tangents, I'm gonna end up an hour behind. So, let me see. Jordan, back to what I was telling you last week. There's a YouTuber I know who was making $20,000 a month. His channel died and went from $20,000 a month to only $600 a month. He ended up getting a job. The reason why his channel died is because he failed to adapt. Here's the thing with YouTube, all right? I'm gonna put you on some game if you're looking to start a YouTube channel. And I had to have a talk with my girlfriend about this because she's starting her YouTube channel and her shit is growing faster than mine did. But I had to explain this to her because she was under the same impression that I was under when I started YouTube. A lot of times when people pursue this unbeaten path, when they decide to do YouTube or just become entrepreneurs in general, they think that they're escaping the realm of obligation. So what this means is that, let's say, for example, if I start a YouTube channel, let's say you start a YouTube channel and you're making videos about, I don't know, what's a popular video game? I don't play video games anymore, so I don't know what's popular, but I'm assuming they still make 2K video games. So let's say 2K25. You're making videos about 2K25, showing off your gameplay, all of that, maybe running park games or whatever. I don't know. Let's say you're doing something like that and you pop off doing that. Now let's say 2K as a franchise, which I think it might already have, but let's just say hypothetically that from 2K25 to 2K26, there's a substantial drop off in interest. So there are fewer people buying the game, fewer people playing the game, and fewer people watching the game. If you love 2K, you're going to feel inclined to continue playing the game even though fewer people are interested in the game. But what this means is that your channel, your business is going to suffer, as will your revenue. I'm saying all of this to say that if you're going to be a content creator, you can't only think in terms of enjoyment. You have to think in terms of what the audience wants. And I can guarantee that that person that you're talking about who went from $20K a month to $600 a month started off in a realm, in a niche that was very, very popular when he joined it. And then the niche itself died down and he didn't adapt. He didn't make that transition to that new niche and his channel suffered for it. So for example, in my case, right now I'm getting very, very low views. I mean, you see it. This is the elephant in the room that you might not want to talk about. And maybe you think I don't want to talk about it, but this is just the reality. I see it. I see the gray arrows. But the thing is, I know that if I wanted to get more views, I could just post only travel videos. If I made videos about being an American living in this place, or why Europe is better than the US, or just videos like that. If I made videos like that, I would get a lot more views because that's essentially the space that I'm in now. And I put myself in that space. Excuse me. But right now, I'm using my channel to fulfill a bigger calling. And I believe that when it's all said and done, when you look at the big picture, me getting fewer views will still be more beneficial to my overall business and my personal brand than me trying to pigeonhole myself into a niche that I actually don't want to confine myself to. So that's some free game right there, bro. Maybe a more simple way of saying this, and this is an analogy that I'll touch much more deeply on in the YouTube Mastery Secrets section of my coaching program. But I want you to imagine that you're opening a restaurant, right? Let's get away from YouTube completely. Let's just get away from YouTube completely. You're opening a restaurant. So let's say, for example, you open a hot dog restaurant. You're selling glizzies. That's what you're selling. Do people still say glizzy? I don't know, bro. I'm getting old, okay? I don't know what the youth are saying now. But let's just say you're selling hot dogs, okay? Now you have a customer base who comes to your restaurant. They eat your hot dogs, and they pay money in exchange for the food that you're serving them. And that's how you stay in business. Now, let's say, for example, that same customer base suddenly decides that they no longer want hot dogs, they want hamburgers. Okay? Now, you maybe still like hot dogs. You still like hot dogs. You still like to eat hot dogs. You still like to make hot dogs. And that's what you've spent your whole life building up in terms of your skill set. That's the skill set that you've developed. If you don't make that transition, your restaurant is going to be empty, meaning you're not going to have customers, you're not going to make money, and you're going to go out of business. And then you won't be able to sell hot dogs at all. You won't even be able to afford to eat hot dogs yourself because everybody is at the hamburger spot now. And maybe after that, they'll be at the pizza spot. And the hamburger restaurant owner will have to adapt to that. And if they don't adapt to it, they're going to be in the same position that you're in. So basically, economics is supply and demand. And no realm of economics, which is literally anywhere where money is involved, is excluded from that rule, including YouTube. So I hope that really helps you understand why people fall off, why people maybe have that volatility in their business. It's not because business is intrinsically volatile. It's because people are intrinsically volatile and they shift their interests very drastically and very suddenly. And if you aren't on top of that, you are going to suffer for it. Jordan, how much caffeine do you have a day? I don't really have any caffeine, at least not knowingly. Maybe if some of the food that I consume has caffeine in it, then I guess that's how much caffeine I have. But I don't drink coffee. I don't drink soda, not even on occasion. I don't consume any of that stuff. Not to say that caffeine is just bad or anything. I just never really saw a need for it. I also don't do pre-workout or anything like that. Wait, hold on. Circleville, Ohio? That's not a real place. That's not a real place, bro. I don't believe that. How do I turn on the window capture? There we go. Google Maps. Yeah. Okay. That's not a real place. You are definitely bullshitting me, bro. Let me make sure I don't DDoS myself here. You're not DDoS, docs. Where, okay, Circleville, Ohio. No, that's not a real place. Oh shit, it is. Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. Wait. Let's see what this is talking about, bro. Drew, let me see. Is this where you walk every day? Circleville, Ohio. Check cash. You know a town is small when they have these rudimentary names like this. Check Cash Advance, TV and Appliances Mart, with a guitar in the front. This is crazy, bro. Circleville, Ohio. This is the most... I'm sorry, bro. I don't mean to rag on your town like this, but this is probably the most generic American place I've ever seen in my life. I mean, I do come from Louisville, Texas, though, so to be fair, I probably shouldn't be talking, but because Louisville kind of looks the same. But no, Circleville is crazy, bro. Let me close that out for my for my laptop crashes. Wait. Let me see where everyone else is from. Chicago, North Carolina. Hey man, shout out to Chicago. I love Chicago. I haven't been there in a while, but I do love it. North Carolina, I haven't been, but I've heard good things about it. I think other than California, it's probably the only state. Well, maybe some of the other East Coast states, but I feel like it's kind of the only state where you really have a beach, a real beach. I'm not talking about some bullshit beach like you see in Texas with Galveston. A real beach with mountains, real mountains, not little hills or whatever, real mountains. Bosnia, and you're gonna have to help me with the pronunciation here. Herzegovina. Bosnia. I don't know how to pronounce the other one, but Bosnia. So Eastern Europe, I believe. Jordan could easily be a marathon runner if he trained and wanted it bad enough. I mean, I'm sure I could run a marathon if I just solely trained for that. The fact that I lift and actively try to put on weight probably doesn't help very much. But this guy, Eloyd, I don't know how to say his name, but he ran 26 miles with a 4:34 pace. Bro, some people are truly different. They're cut from a different cloth. I did my 15K a little over 9 miles earlier this month and ran around an hour, 6:44 per mile. That's crazy, bro. That's so crazy to me that people do that. Atlanta, Georgia. Man, I want to visit Atlanta. Atlanta seems like it has a lot going on, but just never had a chance to get out there for some reason. I think maybe I wanted to go out there in 2022, but I went to LA instead. From Cali. Hey man, shout out to everybody from California. London, England, 1 hour behind you. I love London too. London is actually, I only went there for about a day and a half, but it might be my second favorite city in the world now, behind LA. I have to go to New York again so I can measure them up against each other properly, but first impressions, I like London more than New York. Why didn't you adapt in 2022 for your YouTube channel? I did, with the car life thing. So, for me, I realized that the car life thing was a very trendy topic. And just given my situation, I felt like it was the best way for me to make the best of a bad situation. So, that was basically how I transitioned. And then the car life thing is actually what enabled me to step into the travel space as a whole. So when I was living in a car and then I visited Europe and I made those videos while I was in Spain, those videos, you might not know it because, I mean, you probably don't go and check the views on my older videos, but those videos are still getting views to this day. Those videos still outperform these videos that I'm posting now on a daily basis. So that's why I knew that when I moved to the Netherlands, I was already going to have a viewership. I already knew it coming in that I could have that viewership. But for me, I realized that although I could have the viewership, it didn't necessarily serve the purpose that I was looking for. Basically, I'm at a point in life where it's not about getting a whole bunch of views. Attention doesn't really move me anymore. Getting views, it doesn't excite me. When I have a video do really well, it doesn't excite me. And then when I have a video flop, it doesn't really bother me. I'm just completely numb to numbers at this point. But yeah, basically right now, my primary mission is to continue fostering the growth of this community. And when I say the growth of this community, I don't mean that in a number sense. I more so mean that in the connectivity sense. So I want to have a community of people who really resonate with me. I feel like with the travel content, I attract a lot of people, but they're not people I resonate with. Not just in terms of demographics, because they're mostly middle-aged Dutch people, which there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being a middle-aged Dutch person. But it's more so that they view life differently than me. And it's such a fundamental difference that I can already see it's not going to work in the long term. Hold on, I'm answering these questions completely out of order. Any idea where to buy blank tees and essentials for a decent price? H&M. Wait, hold on. Kale's putting me on some game. It's all about consistency. Without giving a detailed plan, try to run at least for 10 minutes at a decent pace. Then try to pick a distance, say 1 mile or 2, and then try to increase the distance. I think I was able to do 2 miles at an 8-minute, 15-second pace, something like that. But I don't know, bro. The thing is, it doesn't take very long for me to gas out, because basically by the first quarter mile, I'm already cooked. The last 3 quarters are just willpower. But I think also part of it, because some people are genetically predisposed to being better at long distance and then vice versa for short distance. I'm one of those people who has all quick twitch muscle fibers, all fast twitch, no slow twitch. So in 100 meters, I'm not going to lie, unless any of you ran track, I'd probably dust all of you. No bullshit, bro. I'd probably cook all of you in 100 meters or a 40-yard dash. But anything beyond 100 meters, and I'm probably the slowest man here. Okay, hold on. Let me go kind of down to the bottom, because this is starting to feel chaotic for me. I don't like answering these out of order. Don't go to Raleigh, it's almost always congested. Is it really? I would have thought that Raleigh would be a kind of sleepy town. But I guess North Carolina is popping though, because again, I've heard good things about it. Maybe some people are getting priced out of Atlanta and they're going there. Or moving from California or New York to North Carolina as well. Running the Boston Marathon is on my bucket list. Bro, you gotta make that happen. Matthew, I'm not even gonna read that out loud. My guy is wilding. That man is wilding. Actually, let me make Kale a moderator. I thought that, wait, hold on. Golden Nagoma, I thought I made you a moderator as well. You're a moderator now, either way. Does adapting to YouTube simply mean being a slave to the algorithm, or am I missing something? No. So, okay, I don't have a whiteboard or anything, but I'm going to put you on some game right here, okay? Hold on, let me... Okay, so look, check it out. I don't have a whiteboard, so you're going to have to use your imagination here. Where is my... How do I make the webcam smaller? There we go. All right, so look, check it out. And again, I'm going to go much deeper into this in the YouTube Mastery Secrets in the coaching program, but... Okay, triangle. We're just going to look up a triangle. Okay, so look. Can you see that? No, let me move this to the other side. Okay, so look. Check it out. So you see a triangle right here. You have 3 points of this triangle. I want you to think of this as you. So this is you being the content creator. This is the algorithm. And this is the audience. What most people try to do is they chase the algorithm. So they try to figure out what is trending in the algorithm at that moment in time. And they base their content around that. And while that can be effective, the algorithm is always changing. The algorithm is volatile. But here's the caveat. The algorithm is only as volatile as the people. Because while you as a creator follow the algorithm is following the people. It's following the audience. Because think about it. What's YouTube's primary mission? Before anything else, as a business, forget about the algorithm, forget about any of the audience or whatever. YouTube as a company, their mission is to keep you on the platform for as long as possible so they can make as much money as possible, just like any business. Okay. So they are focused on appeasing the people. The algorithm's job is to help them do that in an automated way. So the algorithm simply figures out what the people are watching, and it caters recommendations, it caters their promotion strategy, all of that to what the people are watching. Now you see, there's this disconnect here, because if you're following the algorithm, the triangle isn't complete, right? But what you need to do as a creator is, instead of pursuing the algorithm, you need to get the audience to come to you. Okay, so your job is to get them to come to you. And when you get the audience to come to you, when you focus less on the algorithm and more on the people, is what I'm saying, the algorithm is always following the people. So it naturally follows that when the people come to you, so will the algorithm. So that's why I don't even like to really talk about the algorithm itself, because the algorithm is not the objective. That's not what we need to be focusing on as content creators. It doesn't serve you. That's not how you win at the game of content creation. What you need to do is you need to get people to come to your channel. And there are many ways you can do that, but what question was I even answering just now? I completely forgot. Oh, yeah. Does adapting to YouTube simply mean being a slave to the algorithm, or am I missing something? Yeah, no. So basically, and that's another thing. That's another realization. Hold on, this is getting soggy, bro. Let me take a bite. Okay. That's another very, very harsh, that probably sounds horrible for you, my bad. But that's another very harsh realization that I made about being a content creator and about being an entrepreneur. A lot of people, myself included, they drop out of school, they quit their jobs because they're tired of taking orders from a boss. They're tired of having to please people. But the reality of the economy is that everything works based on supply and demand. So if you are not supplying what people demand, you're not going to get money. You're not going to get money. So in other words, it's not that you're a slave to the algorithm. It's that your job is to serve the people. Instead of having one boss, you have 100,000 bosses. If you're a content creator with 100,000 subscribers. Or let's say if you're a freelancer, you might have 10 or 20 clients. Those 10 or 20 clients are your 10 or 20 bosses. Now, here's the cool thing about being an entrepreneur, being self-employed, etc. Because you have so many more bosses, you can afford to, I don't want to say discard or disregard, but you don't have to please all of them. In fact, the more bosses you have, the more you realize you can't please all of them. But it's not that you're a slave to the algorithm, it's just supply and demand. You have to give the audience what they want. Now, to follow up on that, D Forever said, "No, bro, I was talking about pre-car life. What could you have adjusted when you were living in the apartment?" I spent a lot of time thinking about that. And what I've realized is that there's not really that much I could have done. There's not that much I could have done because I don't know if it was early 2022, but I would say when Andrew Tate, and I'm not blaming this on him, by the way, he just played the game a different way and he sort of changed the space as a whole. But when Andrew Tate became popular, it shifted how everything worked. It shifted the dynamics. So he sort of came in with this very, I don't want to say volatile energy, but very polarizing energy. That's what I'm looking for. He was a very polarizing figure, and he sort of split the self-improvement community up into parts. And I think that for me, as a content creator, my job was always to do the opposite. I always saw it as my mission to not divide, not polarize, but bring people together. And yeah, you have to be aware of stuff like that, because let's say you're a musician and you are creating a certain type of music. Somebody could come in and shift the whole landscape. Just one person. They could come in and shift the whole landscape. And at that point, you can either adapt to that new sound that people want, or you can stay true to yourself, but you have to accept what comes with that. And that's why when you talk about selling your soul, when people say, oh, he sold his soul, it's not about some Illuminati ritual where they prick their finger and they have blood and do all this other weird stuff. I mean, maybe that stuff does happen. I don't know. But I've always perceived selling your soul as you conforming to what is working, what is trendy, even though you are not actually aligned with it. You're conforming to what works at the expense of your integrity. That's selling your soul. That's selling out to me. And so I made a decision at that point that I wasn't going to do that, and I had to pay the price. I had to suffer the consequences. But in reality, it wasn't even just that I didn't adapt. It was that I put myself in a situation where I had to make that difficult choice between losing everything and selling out. Had I not put myself in that situation by being so ignorant with my money, that wouldn't have happened. I could have continued to make the content that I wanted to create, gotten less views, and it wouldn't have mattered because I wouldn't have needed as much money anyways. And then I could have focused on building my life coaching business back then instead of now. But man, these are hard-earned lessons. If I had known all of this stuff when I started, I could have avoided so much bullshit, but I took the losses so that you don't have to. Now you get all of the lessons with none of the losses. Congratulations. I still struggle to wrap my head around how you were able to so casually bench 225. What's your secret, brother? There's no secret and it's no coincidence, bro. When I first started working out, you can look at this for yourself, by the way. Go to my channel, sort my videos by oldest. It was chest and tricep workout. It was one of the first workout videos I ever posted, chest and tricep workout. You can see that for me, 135 was heavy. 135 was heavy for me at that point in time. It's literally just, I kept progressing. Dwaglemed Incorporated. I don't know if I'm saying your name right. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I appreciate the donation. During the car lifetimes, I was one of the people who criticized you with the job stuff. I wanted to apologize. I was wrong. You're doing well. First of all, I appreciate that. I truly appreciate that. Not just because you're apologizing to me, and I accept your apology, but also because you're setting an example for other people. And to me, that's what it's all about, is that you're setting an example for people that it's okay to admit that you've changed your mind, or that maybe you were operating from a space of fear, where that you were making claims without having all of the information. And I myself have done that as well. And so it takes a real man to admit that they were wrong. And so I truly appreciate you for that. But I understand why people from the outside looking in probably thought, this guy's just crashing out. It was, again, it was me trying to make the best of a shitty situation that I had put myself in. But all of that could have been avoided. All of that could have been avoided if I had just had someone like me to steer myself in the right direction. Didn't you say self-improvement was a dead end? So do you think it was that too? By the way, been here since May 2021. I appreciate the continued support. You know what I've realized actually? Most niches are dead ends in one way or another. There are some niches where you can continue to progress just because of the nature of the niche. But those channels, the only channels that actually survive, other than the Mr. Beast type channels who are just entertainers, are news channels. What I mean by that is, let's say for example, Doug DeMuro. If you like cars, you know exactly who Doug DeMuro is. He's not a car channel. He's a news channel disguised as a car channel. Marquez Brownlee. He's not a tech channel. He is a news channel disguised as a tech channel. Because for people like him, there's always going to be a new iPhone. There's always going to be a new Samsung Galaxy. There's always going to be a new MacBook, a new microphone, or a new car that he can review. And likewise with Doug DeMuro, he can always review a new car. So these are news channels. That's why they have the longevity that they have. If you look at Doug DeMuro's production quality, it's nothing special. And I found that in a lot of ways, it's not about production quality. It's about your willingness to continue supplying the market with what they want as a content creator. Now, as a self-improvement content creator, the real mistake that I made, looking back on it, was thinking that the content itself and everything that that entailed would be able to support me for the long run. Because I remember when my channel first started popping off, and my battery's kind of running low, so let me go ahead and change my camera battery real quick. But I remember when hold on real quick. When my channel first started popping off, hope you can still hear me, around May 2021, so right around the time you found me, D Forever. Hold on real quick. Turn this camera back on. Okay, are we good? Are we good? OBS, what are we talking about? No signal. OBS, you got to tighten up now. There we go. Okay, yeah. So around that time, May 2021, people were asking me, is it going to last? And to me, it was a ridiculous question because I was like, well, my channel is predicated on providing value to people. So if I'm providing this level of value at 21, at 35, I should be able to provide way more value. So why would my channel decline? Why would I fall off? What I didn't understand was that it's not just about that. It's not just about that. Even if I made the best self-improvement videos that there are, the space itself is simply not what it used to be. And so at that point, it's more a matter of transitioning to a new space. But again, I just didn't understand that at the time, that YouTube is not just about providing value per se. Providing value to people and giving the market what they want are not the same thing, by the way. This right here, I literally just thought of this right here. But providing value and giving the people what they want are not the same thing. They're not always mutually exclusive, but in some cases, they definitely are. So for example, right? If I was going to start a restaurant and I was going to sell healthy food at that restaurant, I probably wouldn't make as much money as somebody who sells soul food or sells some other kind of bullshit junk food, whatever, an ice cream spot, burger spot, whatever, because that's not what people want. People don't want the healthy food. They want the junk food. Even though I am providing more value to people. So I'm giving them healthy food that will increase their lifespans and improve their quality of life within the lifespans. That's not in demand. They don't want the healthy food. So that's a distinction that I literally just now made, because people always say you need to provide value and the money will follow. That doesn't really, that's not necessarily true. You have to give people what they want and the money will follow. How are Flight and Soul Illuminati still relevant to this day then? So when we talk about relevance, that's kind of a different thing. First of all, Flight and Soul Illuminati are cultural icons. That's a whole different thing than just being a successful YouTuber. They're kind of in that same class with someone like DDG, where their name will always resonate. It'll always reverberate. It's also worth considering that when somebody reaches a higher peak and they fall off, they're still going to be much more successful than the average YouTuber. So let's say, for example, because look, I haven't actually watched Flight in a long time, but I would imagine he's not getting as many views as he did in June 2020. A lot of people would probably consider that to be prime Flight, unless he's had other seasons where he was really dialed in like that. But that was a unique time. That was quarantine, COVID. So he had a very unique opportunity there, as did all of us content creators. But his views have probably dropped since then. It's just that you don't notice, because at that point he was getting 1 million views per video. So if he dropped from 1 million views per video to 150,000 views per video, he's still getting 150K per video. But proportionally speaking, his fall off has probably been just as crazy as mine, if you look at purely views. So that's also something to consider. That's something to keep in mind, is that some people, if you look at PewDiePie, for example, I think he has 100 million subs, but when I looked at his channel, he pulls in 1 to 4 million views per video. The ratio is not good, but in terms of absolutes, he's still pulling in 1 to 4 million views per video, which is what? Between 3 and 16,000, somewhere around there, per video. So it's all relative as well. But Soul Illuminati in particular, he's an anomaly. He's somebody who, honestly, I've never seen anybody else who has that kind of followership, where they truly, this man could post anything and they'll really, really stay locked in with him. That's a code I haven't been able to crack, and clearly very few YouTubers have as well, because if they did, they would have the same kind of audience. Jordan, how did you break your back? Was it a number of events, or was it one specific event that you remember? So I didn't break my back. I had a herniated disc, and prior to that, I had back spasms. So it wasn't just one thing. First, it was from me not stretching. Just me being ignorant, being undisciplined, lifting weights, but not stretching. The more you lift weights, the more you exercise, the more important it becomes for you to stretch. Because I didn't realize this until years later, but I had really tight hamstrings. And tight hamstrings oftentimes refer pain to your lower back. So that's where the back spasms came from. Went to the chiropractor, did a little bit of physical therapy, and then they healed me. I was good. I don't know where the herniated disc came from. To this day, I don't really know. I theorized that it came from dunking, but I'm honestly not sure. I think maybe dunking over and over again, because I was healed and I've been working on my bounce. Again, quick twitch, fast twitch. So I'm yamming shit, I'm punching shit at the park, but I'm landing on that concrete, and usually I would kind of land on one foot. So I had that Derrick Rose syndrome, except instead of messing up my knee, I messed up my lower back. So I think that that's where it came from. But yeah, there wasn't just one moment where I was like, oh, my shit is fucked up. It was just a gradual thing where one day I couldn't even really touch my knees anymore. I was like, oh shit, what happened? KSI has that fan base too. He gets over 1 million views on every video. He might get over 1 million views, but how many subscribers does he have? Again, ratios look different when you have large numbers like that. It changes the whole entire dynamic. But no, man, So Illuminati, I don't care if you like him, love him, hate him. He just knows. He just knows how to create that audience. I think, honestly, I haven't watched a whole lot of his videos, but I want to say it's just because he's a cool dude. He's a cool dude. He's funny. He's charismatic, but in a unique way. He's not conventionally funny like a stand-up comedian. He just has his own unique type of humor, and his personality, his lingo. He's very good at creating trends. Have you thought about making an entertainment channel? No. Absolutely not. And the reason why I know this is because I did entertainment videos before the self-improvement videos. That, honestly, I would damn near rather work a 9 to 5 than do that. And I know that sounds a bit extreme, but let me tell you something, okay? Let me put you on some more game. The only thing worse than working a job you hate is running a business you hate. Trust me on that. You don't want to run a business you hate, because then you basically don't get to clock out from it. There's no psychological decompression because you're always dreading it. And yeah, I wouldn't recommend that. Now that's where shit starts to get a little bit murky, because if you're not passionate about anything that's trending at that point in time with people, it can be difficult to launch your business. So at that point, it becomes more a matter of patience. Because I do believe that there is an audience for everything, but there's also sort of a season for everyone. So, and maybe I'm being a bit cynical, but I doubt that I'll ever get the viewership that I used to with self-improvement content, just because that season has sort of passed. Now, that said, right now, part of my plan is to double down on Instagram content, because there's a whole audience on Instagram who has never heard of me, who doesn't even know I exist, doesn't know that I have this advice to give them, and I can help them bridge the gap between where they are and where they want to be by giving them the same advice that I've already given you. So that's part of the plan right there. And I would say if you're going to be in self-improvement, or if you're going to be in a space that isn't entertainment or news-based, you have to have an end game. You have to have some sort of strategy beyond just the content itself, where you can create a legitimate business. Be it a clothing brand, a coaching program like I'm doing, you can do a skincare company, you can do all kinds of stuff, but you can't just leave it at content itself. That's a big mistake that I made that I will not make again. Or let's say if I decided to go the travel route, I probably could just live off of the content. If I, let's say for example, posted a travel video every day, so American in the Netherlands, why Europe is better than the USA, why the Netherlands is better than the USA. If I posted a video like that every day, I could probably run up a cool $5,000 a month just off AdSense. So not even taking sponsorships into account, because those videos are doing better views than my self-improvement videos ever did, just on average. But yeah, I forgot where I was going with that. Yo, Jordan, I appreciate you putting me on game back in the COVID era. Hope all is well, bro. Quality Kev, I appreciate you for tapping in and for giving me the opportunity to put you on game back then. But if I was putting you on game back then you need to check out some of my recent content, because, bro, I look back at my old content and I'm like, okay, I had good insights. My heart was in the right place, but sometimes I didn't really know what I was talking about. I was sort of just documenting my process, but I didn't really have the information. What I did have was the discipline to apply my sometimes flawed information consistently enough to realize that it was flawed. So for example, with the gym, I posted the workout video not too long ago. People in the comments are gassing me up. Oh, bro, your physique is transformed and all that. And that's not a coincidence. It's because I finally figured out how to train properly. Somebody commented on that video asking if that video was better than the how to build lean muscle video that I posted back in 2020. And I was like, oh my gosh, bro, you have no idea. I mean, that video from 2020, it'll get you in good shape. But this video that I just posted, I mean, that's going to get you a physique that will turn heads. That when you're in the locker room, people are going to compliment you. And I'm speaking from experience with that. You would have to do pretty unique stuff to get self-improvement era back. No, so I would say the new wave with that is to target the younger audience, which is something that I feel like Ice Cold JT could do very well as well. I think that that's something that JT, if you're watching this, the audience is there. But yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, basically that 18 to 24 audience, I don't know where most of them are, but at the same time, it's weird. I know this is going to sound strange, but I kind of like having a smaller audience because let's say, for example, when I was streaming back in 2022, some of the streams would have maybe 300 concurrent viewers, but it didn't feel the same way as these streams. I like being able to talk to you as if you're actually here. I like being able to have an ongoing dialogue with you without being overwhelmed by all of the different people. So I actually prefer to have a smaller audience, but a more connected audience, if that makes sense. And again, that right there plays into my decision to focus more on the self-improvement content than the travel content. Is because I can have 100 comments, 200, 300 comments, but there are people who don't really see life the same way that I do. It's not to say that their perspective is any worse or less valid than mine, but it's just different. It's just completely different. Hello, Jordan. Being consistent with the live streams, it helps me and makes my day. I'm glad these help you. Listen, you who commented that, Corbra X, actually, I remember your name, Corbra. I remember struggling with that name a while back. That was a long time ago, too. So I think you've been around for a while, but the OGs, and at this point, OG isn't about how long you've been subscribed. It's about how dialed in you are to my content. The OGs are the reason why I still do it. Because at this point, if I know, okay, this video is probably not going to perform well, but people are really going to benefit from it, I get a lot more fulfillment from that than views. Because again, at this point, views, they just don't give me the same dopamine rush that they used to. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I've been in the game for so long, or maybe it's because I've been in a position where my views have gone up and then gone back down and gone back up, gone back down so many times that I realized that it's just, there are ebbs and flows to the game, and you can't allow yourself to get too high or too low. Jordan, what happened to your BMW? I missed that car. I sure as hell don't. I don't miss the car at all, bro. Listen, the car was nice. It was a really, really nice car. Really nice car. But when I think about that car, I just immediately feel stressed out. It's an instant feeling of stress that I can't detach the car from. I don't know that I'll ever get a BMW again, even though BMWs make amazing, beautiful cars. Beautiful cars. Way better than Mercedes and Audi, in my opinion. I don't know that I could ever peacefully drive a BMW, even if it's paid off cash. Because, oh my goodness, you don't understand the stress that I felt. Because here's basically the situation I was in, okay? So I had this car. I'm paying $719 a month, or $718 and some change per month for this car. And I'm stressing about this high-ass payment. And at the time, my coping mechanism for dealing with stress was driving. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go for a drive. But then the car had a miles limit on it because I was leasing it. So I was only able to drive the car, I think, 1,000 miles a month, which was something like 30 miles a day, which sounds like a lot. But every week I would go to and from my parents' house, which was 30 miles each direction. So I basically, when I added it all up and averaged it out, I want to say I only had 5 miles a day or some shit like that. It was something like 5 to 10 miles a day to drive. No, I think it was 5 miles a day. It was a very low number. And so I couldn't even drive to give myself that peace of mind. So it was just a really, really stressful time. I would not, I don't know that I could buy another BMW. Even once I have the money for it, if I could buy it 10 times over, I still don't think I would actually get a BMW. But basically what happened to that car was I got tired of dealing with that stress and I realized I had made a shitty decision. I put my ego to the side and say, I don't care how this is going to make me look. I care about my future and I care about my peace of mind. So I gave the car back. I had to pay, let me tell you, I had to pay $5,600 to get them to take that car back from me. And it's the best money I ever spent in my life. And then I ended up getting the Mazda CX-5. Yeah, the Mazda CX-5, which is the car that I did the car life journey in. KSI has 25 million subscribers on his main channel and 16 million subscribers on his second channel and gets millions of views on each video. He has been out before Soluminati. No, I definitely know he's been out for a long time now. But yeah, at 25 million subscribers, I would say you would ideally want to be pulling in around 5 million a video, just viewership wise. But I don't know if he pulls that in or not because I don't really watch him at this stage of my life. But again, even at that stage where he's fallen off, once he reaches a point where he's getting 1 million or 2 million views a video, he's still doing well. So when your peak is that high, when you've climbed a mountain that's higher than the mountain that other people have climbed, you fall off to a point that's still higher than their peak. So he's still going to be good no matter what. But you have to reach a very high point on YouTube in order to have that kind of safety net. You have to basically be at, I would say, 7 mil plus. 7 mil plus, give or take. Because I've seen people with 1 million subscribers go homeless too. Ik ben in de diki ervan iedereen weet het. I am in the something everyone knows it. What is diki ervan? What does that mean? Mijn Nederlands is niet zo goed. How do I get over the desire of having a girlfriend? Seems like it's all I can think about even while working, gym, etc. Well, first of all, you don't have to get over the desire. There's nothing wrong with wanting a girlfriend at all. The key is how you go about managing the desire. So instead of shaming yourself for having the desire and making yourself feel like you're weak for needing companionship in your life, which everyone does, maybe focus on what steps you can take to facilitate a relationship in your life. So I'm going to give you an action step right here. I'm not even going to say your name. You're not going to set me up like that. But I'm going to give you an action step right here, okay? What I want you to do after this stream, so here in the next, 8 minutes or so, is I want you to grab a sheet of paper or open up a Google document, and I want you to list out all of the traits that you want in a girlfriend. And let's take it even a step further. List the traits out and then explain why each trait matters to you. And I just want you to do that, and right there you will have already taken a major action step toward finding somebody with whom you can build a very, very fulfilling relationship. But yeah, you don't have to not want a girlfriend. I mean, I wanted a girlfriend and I just allowed myself to want a girlfriend, but more importantly, I gave myself permission to embody the emotional state of already having a girlfriend. And that's the key right there, which is why you need to define why you want these traits. Is because you want to put yourself in the emotional space of already having a girlfriend, and you want to activate your reticular activating system, which is the goal setting section of your brain, to be on the lookout for this kind of girl with these traits. When you do that, you embed it into your subconscious mind as a belief that this kind of woman is out there waiting for you, and all you need to do is go on about living your life, being yourself, living in your truth, pursuing your passions, and you will find her as soon as you're ready for her. And when you do find her, she'll be worth the wait. If she's not worth the wait, she's not the one. Favorite video you ever made that spoke my life into existence was underrated. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, that might be my favorite video. That might just be my favorite video that I've made as well. Because if I was gonna summarize my YouTube channel into one video, it would be that. But then a lot has happened since then. So recently I made a short form version of that video that also included some of the newer, more recent events in my life. And I'm going to post that on YouTube sometime in the near future as well, because that might be my favorite video now. To be honest, Jordan, I was here since the lean muscle video and use an iteration of that routine to this day. It's still a good workout. There's nothing wrong with the workout. It's more that if you want to really take your physique to the next level, it's not going to get you there. It takes a certain level of detail in your training plan that I literally wasn't even aware of at that time. Can't imagine how stressful it is for Jordan to deal with such volatility in views and income. It's not really stressful because I'm in control. The thing is, the stress comes from the lack of control. And also it comes from putting yourself in a situation where you don't have the safety net to weather those difficult times. So right now, the ratio between the amount of money that I have and make compared to my expenses is so big, is such a wide discrepancy that I could basically just stop posting for the next few years and I'll be fine. Granted, maybe I might lose my visa and that could create some other complications, but generally speaking, I'm all right, bro. I'm good. I'm not struggling for money by any means. So I'm not, and that's another thing, okay? I talked about this in my recent video, the master plan for being wealthy by 2027, but wealth and income are two completely different things. Wealth is a ratio, whereas being rich, having a high income, that's just its own isolated variable. So when I was making, let's say, $4,000 or $5,000 a month, I was very, very stressed about money because my expenses were so much higher. Whereas now, I mean, honestly, I don't even know how much I make a month. Definitely not that. But the ratio is still much greater. So I'm good. I'm wealthier now than I was then, even though I make less because my expenses are lower. And now I see a path where I can actually not just still have that ratio, but live in luxury while having the ratio, which is what I talk about in the video about getting wealthy by 2027. I see a path now. I see the path. My girlfriend sees the path. We're on the same page and we're both working toward that path. So yeah, don't feel sorry for me. There are people who are sleeping on benches and stuff. I mean, don't feel sorry for me. Don't feel sorry for me. I'm in control of my life and my situation. I make decisions that determine my destiny, as do you. Jordan, drop free game on daily action and staying consistent. My bad if you already answered that. You know what? If I haven't already posted it, let me look at my YouTube studio real quick because I should have a video. Yeah, I have a video coming out this upcoming week called "This is Why You Lack Consistency." So I'm going to give you the free game in that video. So stay tuned because that's coming out this upcoming week. What do you eat now compared to then for gains? It's not what I eat, it's the fact that I track what I eat now. That's the biggest difference. Now I don't leave anything up to chance. I weigh my food out, I track my calories, there's no guesswork involved. The only guesswork is how many calories I need to bulk, which is something I'm still figuring out myself. But yeah. Make evergreen content. So evergreen content is a great strategy to build up that fundamental base of passive income, but that's also kind of a myth. Evergreen is not really evergreen because true evergreen content is timeless, meaning that it's always in demand, meaning that there will always be people supplying it. So there's always going to be somebody making a better version of that evergreen video. That video about how to be confident, it's always going to be an in-demand topic, but there will always be a better version of it coming out every day. So after a few years, maybe 5-6 years, something like that, even the evergreen videos start to lose some of their momentum. That's what I found, at least. But again, that doesn't necessarily mean you're not providing value still. Because I have a playlist of videos that motivate me. And that playlist consists primarily of videos that didn't really perform that well. From other people, granted, but videos that might not have the most views, but that have changed my life the most. So that's basically what I'm focused on at this point, is how can I transform people's lives with my content? Did you get used to the weather in the Netherlands? No, I haven't. It still sucks, but the weather in Texas sucks too. I want that California weather. Do you watch your old videos? I've been watching some of my old videos recently, especially my old streams, just to get back in touch with the naivety of how I created content before I knew any of what I'm telling you in this stream. But yeah, my biggest takeaway from watching those videos is that I've leveled up, especially in my ability to articulate myself. I'm a higher level thinker, a higher level speaker, a higher level person in every facet of life. That said, we are at 1 hour and 11 minutes, and I want to keep this stream congruent with the title. So that said, I appreciate you for tuning in. I will be streaming again next week at this same exact time, and I do have daily content on the way. Stay tuned for that. Without further ado, you know I don't do outros, so I'm going to just end the stream right now, like this. Dismiss.